worst. The absolute worst.
The best.
3, 2, 1, we're back. Another episode. How you been?
Wonderful.
Now, before we start, some housekeeping is in order. We've been getting a lot of comments. Well, I think they're directed at me, that I keep jumping over what you say. I don't let you finish a sentence. How do you feel about that? That's enough. No, I will do my best not to do that. And by the way, excellent sunglasses.
Thank you very much. That's the first time you've complimented me on my style choices.
Not true.
By the way, they're the red 80s vintage throwback Carreras.
What do you guys think?
Come on.
Which of his sunglasses do
bringing
you
them
like the
back.
most?
Yeah.
What do you think? You tell us. By the way, we're back at the pub. As you
All
can
right.
tell, it's raining, but that doesn't stop us. By the way, if you can figure out where we are in London, which pub, drinks coming your way, people. Drinks coming your way out of his wallet.
No, definitely not out of my wallet, out of your wallet. But
All right.
Okay.
Listen,
yes,
here's the thing.
I'm listening.
The Pondering Ponytail, as you guys well know, a safe space,
Yeah,
a community,
yeah.
you know, somewhere you can feel confident in being emotional,
You can air your grievances.
extol your trauma.
Vent.
Absolutely. And that's what we're here for today, because I know you have a lot of trauma, and that trauma is related to one man.
Yes.
And that man is...
Sylvester Stallone.
Now, listen.
Son of Dame Jackie, brother of Frank, father of Sergio, the late Sage, Sophia, Sistine, Scarlett, husband of Jennifer.
Very good. Very good.
I can't believe I remembered all that.
Hey.
Hey.
Now, you've gone through an up and down period with this man, right? I remember in your younger days, you basically idolized him. You
Yeah.
wanted to be him.
I wanted to be
Suddenly
him.
that turned to hate. I want to get to the bottom of that cause.
Okay.
Why did that happen? Because we nearly fell out over it, correct?
No. We did fall out over
That's
it.
true. That's true.
This was about, 4 years ago?
Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
When did you first fall in love with Sly?
With Gardenzio.
Please.
Like every kid, like every child of the 80s, like every red-blooded male of the 80s, probably around 85, 86, with the opening of Rocky IV, one of the great
Even
cinematic spectacles of all
the
time.
Rockies before.
Yeah, but 4 is the first one I saw.
True.
Okay? Now, you and I have...
But you were aware of Rocky even before Rocky IV.
Probably, but I hadn't seen any of them.
Fine.
This was the first one I saw that I bought on VHS from
Beautiful.
the now defunct Virgin Megastore, if you remember, on Marble Arch. You remember that?
I do.
Okay. And it was a feast of the senses, that movie. Now, I know you and I diverge on our views of Rocky IV. You think of it as a long, overdone, kind of MTV
Montage. It's
montage.
one music montage after the next.
Okay.
With like a couple of like lines of script connecting them.
Which
That's
is-
basically it.
your favorite
But don't
line
get me
being?
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't dislike
I see them in my backyard. What are you talking about, Stallion? Snails, I've seen them. I didn't talk about eating snails. I said nails, nails. Oh, you look good, but personally, Apollo, I wouldn't mind postponing the fight.
Okay, very good. Very good.
People
Off
with
the back of the nails misunderstanding, that's
Okay.
when your heart went out to him.
Okay,
right?
so yeah, and like I said, my love for cinema, it's possible it could be pinpointed to Rocky IV.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
Fine.
my love for the sensibilities and the tropes of 1980s filmmaking with heart pounding ballads and
Sure.
that soundtrack
Peak
was
80s.
right,
Peak 80s. Peak 80s. Now, aside from Rocky IV, what else was there?
that I loved him in.
Yes.
Obviously, Cobra, which
Fine.
came out a year after.
Great.
Sporting, by the way, Key, the 3030 Ray-Ban Outdoorsman sunglasses.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Which I'm on the lookout for.
Okay, listen.
All right, Ray-Ban. Hit
All
me
right,
up. Hit me
okay,
up.
okay, okay,
Hit me up with
okay,
some
so-
Outdoorsman. Okay.
All right. Now, what was it about him that made you fall in love with him so much? Why did you idolize him so much? What was it?
Okay. First of all, not unlike myself, not a tall man. Okay.
Fine.
Right. This is really a therapy session now. You're right. Okay. Not a tall man, stood about 5'8", but appeared larger than life on screen.
Right.
Now, as I discovered in my late 30s, this might have had to do with certain kind of elevated assistance
you want to repeat those shoes you like so much?
Guido Maggi and Masaltos.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
And there's another one called Bertulli.
Very good. Very
Okay,
good.
you can check them out.
Not Berluti.
No,
Ah.
it's an anagram.
Okay, go on.
They're smart. They're
All right,
smart.
okay, fine,
These guys.
fine,
All right.
fine. Okay. So apart from the height, you liked his height.
Okay. All right. Exactly. Number one. Number
Yeah.
two. He had like a physique that was not necessarily. That was aspirational
And
As in,
attainable.
an attainable
Right.
kind of like
Not like not like
physiognomy.
Arnie.
Not like Arnie.
Who's like
Now-
7 feet and all muscle.
Now, I worship Arnie as well.
Of course.
But Arnie, when he came on screen,
But
you're
for
like,
you, it was
I can't,
Sylvester,
I
right?
can't look like that.
For you, it was
Yeah.
Sylvester.
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So the height, the build, what else?
Okay, attire.
The attire.
Always
Tell
great
us-
with the
tell us about
attire.
the attire
Okay,
you
so
like.
so Stallone. I mean, we talk about 80s and 90s, but in
Right.
the 80s,
Yeah.
the Henley tops.
Fine.
Okay, in Cobra specifically, that look.
Right.
That look, right? The toothpick in his mouth. Okay, the tight-fitted.
Right.
American apparel style Henley top.
Right.
Okay, in different colors.
Sure.
As you know,
Yes.
I go crazy when I
Yes,
see something
yes,
I buy in
yeah,
every
yeah,
color.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, the tight fitted jeans.
Right on.
The cowboy boots.
Yep.
Okay, the leather jacket. Okay, and the outdoorsman.
Okay.
And a pistol.
Fine.
Right. Okay.
Fine.
And he was taking on all kind of like variations of badass villains.
Right.
Specifically in Cobra, the Night Slasher.
Fine.
Okay, he was a menacing, devilish kind of villain, and of course the year before that, Ivan Drago, one of the great super villains of our time,
Right.
played by
Now, obviously, the attire
Dolph
goes.
Lundgren.
The attire. We're focusing on Stallone.
Okay.
The attire goes beyond just the Henley tops. He has different like kind of eras of attire.
Definitely. Okay, I mean, most recently in Tulsa King, I'll just go to the end first, okay? He is rocking the chrome-colored, okay, wide-lapelled power suits.
A la Casino and
Exactly.
kind of a throw
Except-
to
except-
those Italian mafiosos.
Except in his, like, bulked-up frame,
Fine.
right?
Okay.
A role I feel he was destined to play when he, past 60. Okay, but now he's realized,
Yeah.
okay, that this was a kind of like a role fit for him. Actually, he did it kind of a little bit in Oscar, okay, where he was wearing the exceptional pinstripe.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
1920s throwback,
Yes,
okay.
correct.
In Specialist,
Ah.
the low, almost navel reaching V-necks,
Mm-hmm,
okay, with the glistening like Hawaiian tropic oil and sweat, all right. Very good look. And you remember, I used to rock that in the nightclubs, like about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Those really low
Okay,
V-necks.
okay.
Okay. So I rated that attire for certain.
Don't forget his intellectual banker attire.
In Tango and Cash, around that period in
yeah.
the late 80s, early
Right,
90s,
yes. With
when
the
he was
spectacles
with the spectacles
And the tie pins.
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
when he was trying to he wanted to what's called transition from being
A bit of a meathead
a meathead.
into somebody with more cerebral.
Exactly.
Okay, and how did you feel? Did you feel betrayed when he went through
No,
that period?
no,
Oh,
I rolled with him.
You were on
I
board.
rolled with him.
Okay.
Because it was during this period that he dropped two of my favorite jokes of all time.
Go
I know
ahead.
you didn't want me to hit it up, okay?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rocky 5. I'm gonna hit you with a joke, okay?
Okay.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Tuna fish.
Tuna fish who?
You can tune a piano, but you cannot tune a
All right,
fish.
that joke makes zero sense.
No, it doesn't. Oh, I'll give you another one, by the way. All right. Knock knock.
I asked tuna fish who?
Knock
I never
knock.
said tuna fish what?
Oh yeah, good point. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Madame.
Madame who?
Madame foot stuck in the door.
Okay, very good. Hopefully that didn't do anything to the audio there. But okay, so so height we said, build we said, attire we said. You love that all.
Not
Now,
just that. A
Intellect.
succession. No, a succession. No, a succession of great movies that he pumped out one after the other
Okay,
after the other,
okay.
and with great dialogue dropped in.
Sure.
Okay.
But like, no. My point is, everybody, like, you like all kinds.
You don't
of
have a toy
movies.
gun on you, do you?
You like all kinds.
This is where the law stops, and I start.
Good.
Sucker. That was before he took down the Night Slasher in
Very
Cobra.
good. Okay, so
remember
I
in
wanna-
that kind of like coal mining factory.
Great.
Right.
I want to know. Okay, so you're loving him. Like he's going through. When does it start to turn for you?
No. Well, first of all, you haven't even gotten into the 90s. There's so much more meat on the bone
Okay.
in
No,
the
no.
80s.
Okay. I don't want to talk about his films. I want to talk about your love for him.
Okay. So you understand.
You said
you
height,
justify
build, attire.
Okay.
What else?
Oh,
And
oh
you
no, no,
like
no,
his
no, no, no,
movies,
hold
you
on.
get it, you like
Hold
his
on,
movies,
hold on,
yes.
hold on,
But
hold
you
on.
like a lot of people's
And
movies,
also
it
another
wasn't
thing,
exclusive to him.
his love for the ladies.
Go ahead.
All right, Nielsen.
Right.
Okay, his first wife actually, Sasha Zak. Okay, who's kind of remained anonymous. Okay, after they split up in the kind of the early 80s. I think
Yeah.
after he started like really soaring at the box office, right? But Brigitte Nielsen, like beautiful, stunning,
Wasn't she
statuesque.
Arnie's ex?
Before him, yeah.
Yeah.
According to Arnie, there are suggestions that he knew because he had an affair with her, I think, on Red Sonja. And he knew he kind of like not pawned her off to Sly.
Manipulated the
Yeah.
situation.
And then she married Sly, and I think that that marriage was riddled with all sorts of problems. Okay. I've met her, by the way. You remember that? Weren't you with me?
No.
No, you weren't with me. Okay. So Flavin, Everhart,
Yes.
Dickinson.
Yes.
Okay. So I rated
Okay.
her for that.
And you liked all those women.
I liked all those women.
Okay, fine.
And also during that period as well, he really knew, I think, if you make sure to get some good stills, in like the early 90s, he really was kind of like maximizing his kind of, sinewy, veiny, kind of like turbocharged, what do you call it? Physique.
But he
okay.
was juicing, no doubt.
Probably, I don't know anything about that. But, well, actually, because, he was caught in, I think, 2006 throwing steroids out of a hotel window in Australia.
Quite obvious.
You're right.
Quite obvious, anyway.
And also hanging out with Versace a lot back then.
Okay. I'm sure he did some ads for them.
Did he? Yeah, probably.
Probably.
You're right.
I'll
yeah.
have a look.
Oh, actually, you remember those Versace shirts? What was the motif exactly?
Medusa and
Yeah.
like Roman and
Yeah.
snakes and whatever.
Did you ever own
Anyway. Maybe. Anyway, so you're loving him, you're loving his movies, you're loving the way he dresses, his height, his build, the women he's with, you love it all. You love his relationship with Versace. Okay, so this is full-on adoration of Sly.
Adoration,
okay?
adulation,
And
yeah,
obviously,
aspiration.
let's not forget about his like artistic era when he became a painter.
Yeah.
There was that too. I'm sure you were on board for that.
And a jockey.
And a jockey.
Yeah. This was around the period, you're right, when he intellectualized himself.
Right, okay.
Right, around the Tango and
Fine.
Cash
So
period.
you were on board for all of these
I was
things.
on board for all
So now,
of these
where
things.
was the turnaround? When did you start to turn against him and this love suddenly died and turned to hate?
I think during COVID, actually.
Oh,
Yes.
So
and maybe
quite
a little bit before COVID, maybe around
Okay.
2018, 2019.
Okay, so it was gradual.
Yes. And you know
Okay.
what they said? And I've made this, I've referenced this before.
yeah.
Be careful of meeting your heroes.
Go on.
Okay? So this is what I say. Because they become demystified.
Sure.
Okay, so I started following Gardenzio on the gram.
Okay.
Okay.
He's a big grammer.
He's a massive grammer, okay?
Fine.
And I was a bit perturbed by how the star of the 80s, the star of the 90s, who's achieved fame beyond anyone's wildest dreams.
Was desperate for like social media, like likes and
Like
followers.
the Rob from just anyone.
yeah.
And was posting these very, very staged videos that were anything but spontaneous, but structured in
Pretended
such
to
a
be,
way
yeah.
that it was, spur of the moment, and that he was so self-deprecating and so on and so forth.
He was desperate for likes.
Initially,
he was desperate for likes. and
Initially,
that- yeah.
initially I was in denial. So I was like,
Yeah.
no, it's okay, it's okay. So, for example, when he's like, he's writing something, and
Cameras on him.
and the camera's on him, and his daughter comes into the
Yeah.
room. Dad, what are you doing? Writing. Like you try. When I wrote Rocky, and you try again. It's not great, but blah blah. The video goes nowhere. I'm like, why are you doing that? And you're wearing kind of like a tank top with this big, massive, what do you call it?
Shoulder pads.
No, I'm saying like
The
the
tattoo.
the tattoo
Oh,
of his
the
wife.
tattoo as well. That's when you started turning on him when he got the massive tattoo.
No. That was, but you know why I think he did that?
Yeah.
Because he had some, what do you call it when you get a bit? You
Oh,
get
your
some
varicose
tears.
veins.
What's that?
Of the stretch marks.
The stretch mark on your veins. So he
varicose
covered it
veins.
up with that.
Yeah.
I think he's actually admitted that. Okay.
Okay.
But I mean, these sort of, ultra staged videos
Basically
started
acting
rubbing me
like
the wrong
some
way.
desperate influencer
Okay.
on social media, trying to get like the likes and the followers. You're thinking it's beneath him, right?
You're bloody Marion Cobretti. You're Ray Quick. You're Robert Raff. You're Kit Latura.
Okay.
Do you understand?
And then what else did you discover about him and his family? And I'm thinking about his brother.
Oh my God! Oh, you mean the Mr. Trumpy?
Yes, go on. Tell
Okay.
us about that.
So, anyways, yeah. So I initially, so because of my love for Stallone, I said, okay, I'm gonna have to follow the whole family. So I started following Frank. Frank's entire Instagram, and I think there's something like 5,000 posts. Can you imagine how much time you must have on your hands to have 5,000 posts? Is an homage to his love for Trump and his denouncement and his disdain for Democratic Party affiliations. Okay, now I started trying to communicate with Frank. As you know, I started tagging you. Okay, and I think one time he did answer me, but he didn't realize that my comment was sarcastic. He took it quite literally.
Go on.
Anyways, the less said about that, the better.
Okay.
But Frank as well, I was like so disappointed because Frank as well, he embodied in the late 80s and early 90s that one step below, but quasi Joe Pesci-ish, Chaz Palminteri, Robert De Niro style gangster look. Right.
The second tier, third tier gangster.
Exactly.
Actor.
And he also
and great musician.
I was gonna say, what were the two songs we like? Take It Back, do 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 do. Take It Back, from Rocky. But I'm gonna say something else, right? One of my favorite songs of all time that I didn't discover was sung by him at the during the closing credits of Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
Yes.
Peace in a time, to the heart. It's like some patriotic, like.
I think I heard that at a recent Trump rally.
I'm sure you did. Yeah, exactly. And do you know why that was such a powerful moment for me? Because Rambo: First Blood Part 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, right? And I would like to do a couple of impressions now that you have a microphone in front of you.
Sure.
Right. When Rambo gets captured, do you remember the plot of Rambo 2? Or does it not matter for the audience?
No, I do.
You remember the thing?
It was in Afghanistan, right?
No, that was the third one.
No, 2 is Vietnam.
Right? So at the end of First Blood, okay, which is a masterpiece film, right? Adapted from a novella, no less, okay? So at the end of that first movie, where nobody dies, right? Rambo doesn't kill anyone, right? It's a good piece of trivia, okay? But in the end, he's imprisoned for the carnage that he wreaks in self-defense on that brutal police force.
And Brian Dennehy,
right? So in the opening of Rambo: First Blood Part 2, he's basically in this like maximum security prison, okay, where they're I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they've got these kind of like hammers and they're smashing it on the rocks or something. I don't know what kind of thing that's good. Anyway, Colonel Troutman comes, played by the late Richard Crenna, and wants to recruit him for a POW salvage mission in Vietnam. And he says to him, and I quote, "Prison camp you escaped from 71 is a target area. Nobody knows that terrain better than you. You'll be temporarily reinstated in the special forces, and if the mission's successful, there may be a presidential pardon." Great dialogue there. Right? Okay, hold on.
Over? Oh,
and then no.
Over.
And then after a few more exchanges,
yes,
Stallone, who obviously is suffering from PTSD because of the outcome of the Vietnam War, says to him, "Sir, do we get to win this time?" And Troutman looks at him. Dun, dun, dun. The score from Jerry Goldsmith. Dun, 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 dun. "This time it's up to you." Okay. This is the height of great popcorn cinematic movie making.
Yeah. Fast forward 20 years and he's trying to get
hold on. My favorite scene from Rambo: First Blood Part 2 is in the middle of the film. He realizes he's been disavowed and captured, okay, by the Russian forces who are occupying Vietnam. He realizes there's still a war brewing there. 1985. That's obviously not true, but we can stretch the imagination, right? And he's been basically betrayed by the American bureaucrats, okay, who wanted him to go to Vietnam and be captured. Anyway, he's in the prison camp. He's getting electrocuted. Great body, great abs, great arms, great everything, right? And great mullet and
good buttocks
and great buttocks. Yeah, and then. Colonel Podolsky, played by Steven Berkoff, one of the great villains of all time, by the way.
And in James Bond.
Octopussy,
right,
as General Orlov, Russian, and then Beverly Hills Cop as Victor Maitland, and then Podolsky in Rambo. So imagine that.
And not forgetting his greatest role in Under the Cherry Moon, a film by Prince, where he plays the villain as well.
Is he a villain in that? Okay.
Well,
cool.
Yeah, he plays the father.
So they're electrocuting him and torturing him all night, and he's like, "You are disavowed by your own men. Make a radio call." He wants. So Podolsky's basically inducing him to make a radio call to tell the Americans that, listen, we've been captured and that this is a humiliation and blah blah. They're a great soldier.
Yeah.
So he's like this. 220-122, Lone Wolf. Calling Wolf then. Radio's cracking up. Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf. And then Troutman comes on. Troutman's obviously like his buddy.
Yeah.
He's like, John, we hear you. Give us your position. Blah, blah, blah. Where the hell are you? Murdoch is the man who he's figured out Murdoch has betrayed him to the Soviets, right, and the Viet Cong, all right? So instead of saying, listen, come and rescue me, or listen, call off another effort because we're all being tortured here. Murdoch! He's here. Murdoch comes in, backstabbing, double-crossing
who
SOB.
plays Murdoch?
Charles Napier.
Okay.
John, we're glad you're allowed. Give us your position. We'll come to pick you up. Murdoch. Thunder and lightning. John, I'm coming to get you. Dun-dun-dun. Takes the thing, so beats up the entire Russian POW camp. Takes the machine gun, throws bad guy Yushin into the electrocution thing, and jumps over. Right, then he's saved by the whatever her name is.
Right. Okay. You don't need to describe the whole film.
God, I love you so much, Sly.
Listen.
Gardenzio, I love you.
If that doesn't make you want to rewatch the movie, I don't know what will. Listen,
all right.
So now you love him again. No, let's get back to your therapy session. Stop describing movies for us. Okay. So,
do you want to see Cobra?
Let's go back to him being a social media bitch for one.
Okay, so all right, so fine.
Yeah.
So listen, I suspect that in the contemporary age, he doesn't want to let fame die.
Right.
He's still rich in kind of like I don't know, rich in
and
what do you call it? Fan pursuit,
yes,
whatever you want to call it, right?
But can I just highlight one point? Another aspect of his, kind of obsession with social media is this. What comes through is his competitive nature with Arnie.
Okay.
And not in a good way.
This is where I'm going to turn the tables on you.
Okay.
But listen. Okay.
No, please don't. I beg you don't.
Listen, we fell out over this issue.
No, you fell out with me.
Yes, exactly. Because you know what?
Why?
You agreed with me. He agreed with me on this very issue.
And
you wouldn't entertain me when I challenged you. I'm like, why is he doing this?
You know what? This is the problem with you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm asking you certain questions. You're talking about movies.
All right, go on.
You haven't finished.
Okay, so I didn't.
You haven't touched on Dame Jackie.
Okay.
Which is the real crux of the matter.
Okay. What I didn't like, and there might be reasons behind this.
And this was the real nail in the coffin.
So Sly or Brother Frank, please feel free to tell us if you're watching the Pondering Ponytail, which they might be.
And this is still an unanswered question.
Okay,
right?
is that Sly? Right? Yes, it is. Is that Sly? Whenever somebody passed from George P. Cosmatos, the guy who directed Cobra, to Kelly Preston, the late wife of John Travolta, to Franco Colombo, the guy who trained him, who kind of like made him sort of metamorphosize his physique for like Rocky 3 and onwards, right? There's this great honoring and homage to them. And then Dame Jackie, his mother, who adored him, right, passed away during COVID era. Not a single mention of it. And I was very, very, very upset and let down. And I challenged you to tell me what that could be about. And instead of humoring me, and instead of us having a proper civilized debate on the matter, you were like, whatever. Yeah, let's just meet for lunch. Let's just meet for this. Or like, let's just watch it. And I didn't like that because, we were in lockdown, okay? This was an important bone of contention for me. And you basically abandoned me. What say you?
Listen, I know that's false.
He's got a lot.
That's false.
He's got a lot of explaining to do. You got a lot of explaining to do.
I could initially tell the first 10 times you mentioned it that you were upset, and I tried to console you. But after the 10th time, I'm like, what the hell do you want me to say? I don't care. I don't care that he hasn't said anything about Dame Jackie. However,
this weather is extremely timely. As the subject matter gets more contentious.
Wow. It's coming down hard, guys. You probably can't see it, but yeah. Anyway, point is, I gotta say, even I am a bit surprised.
Oh, thank you very much.
As to why he never said anything about the passing of his mother.
Okay, I agree.
Sly, perhaps you'd like to say something about that? Please let us know.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Okay, but yes.
So, can we move on to the next point?
Go on. What's the next point?
The Arnie aspect.
All right, let's go into the Arnie thing. Okay, so Arnie and Sly have this long, running feud, competitive. My word almighty.
Hold on, I'm just gonna pan.
You know what this... Oh yeah, good idea.
That's what we're dealing with, people. That's what we're dealing with.
You know what this reminds
The
me of?
pondering ponytail goes on.
Do you want to know what this reminds me of? Stallone, 1989, Lock Up.
All right,
Do you remember
stop
that movie?
talking about movies.
No, listen.
No,
The American football scene. You want more, Leone? We want more for you, Leone. What do you have to say now? Yeah, first down.
Arnie, social media.
Okay, no.
Go.
Okay, all right. Okay, so Arnie and Sly have this long-running feud, competition, and then eventually this budding friendship. Okay, and I know you're more interested in that, or you're as interested in the dichotomy of that, the nuances of that than even I am, right? So, for a brief recap, for those people who have been living on Mars for the last like 40 years, they were the two big action heroes
Let
of
it
the.
be brief. I doubt
They
it
were the
will be.
two big action heroes of the 80s, all right, and 90s, and even parts of the 2000s, right? Stallone was always, we felt, despite how much I idolized him, we felt he was always intimidated by Arnold.
I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Right. Based on the fact that Arnold was
He was the bigger star, the bigger body, the taller guy, the bigger muscles, the bigger everything, the bigger box office.
But you know what? Not the better hair in present day.
All right, very good. All right,
Arnie rocking the
please,
weetest feathers.
I beg you, just stick to what we're talking about.
Okay, all right, fine. Yeah, okay, go on.
All right, so it became very apparent. Why am I talking for you here? It became very apparent through Sly's social media that he has a huge complex
About Arnie, yeah.
about Arnie.
Okay, yeah.
Why?
Well, I think it's because obviously Arnie is.
How does that manifest itself?
Oh,
That's what I'm
okay.
asking.
So I think in the 80s he was basically trying to taking out ads
I
to
give
try
up.
and
I give
sully and what do you call it, admonish Arnie, and try and insinuate that his family was part of a bloodline of Axis sympathizers in World War II, if I'm not mistaken.
Really, he did that?
Yes, he did do that. Oh, you didn't know that, did you?
No.
Right, do your research.
I asked you about
All right.
social media.
Anyways. And I think after a certain point.
That's pretty dark there.
Yes, I know.
I'm surprised they even speak to each other.
Yeah, but Arnie doesn't care because he's so above it.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Yeah, Sly. Here, he's standing there.
Yeah.
But not anymore. Now they're the same height. But he's like, nice to meet you. Okay? And. But you're right. That's almost unforgivable.
Yeah.
Okay. But Stallone, but Schwarzenegger, I think feels he got his payback by foisting Brigitte Nielsen onto him. Okay. Do you understand?
So while
Very nice.
while
Very nice.
While Sly's playing checkers, Arnie's playing
chess. Yes,
Very
3D
good.
chess.
4D.
Before it was 4D chess. All right. So this is what's happening. Okay. And obviously by the early 90s, the Planet Hollywood thing comes around, and I think, there's a good marketing opportunity. I think they bury the hatchet. Stallone, by this point, has probably made like $350 million. Okay, they're not really competing in the same kind of films. Okay, although I think part of the insecurity is the fact that Arnie was able to. This is very relevant. Is that Arnie was able to so effortlessly branch out into comedy. And Sly, who is like himself this like self-proclaimed joker, tried to do the same thing with
And it didn't work.
Oscar and Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, and it didn't work. And Arnie, meanwhile, had soaring box office success with Twins, Kindergarten Cop, and so on and so forth. I think then Sly thought to himself, all right, what am I going to do? I'm going to go down the intellectual route.
All right, stop there.
Copland.
Stop there.
Yes, okay.
Once again, this is about you and not about Sly's career.
All right.
Okay? So, you start hating him because of all these things on social media. I asked you about how did it manifest his competitive streak with Arnie on social media.
So now, because they're like buddies, lots of photos together referencing him and Arnie basically like in adjacent photographs cycling during COVID. Hey, me and the big man. Or trying to do like this very unoriginal ribbing, joking, where he's kind of like used some sort of like app where he's shrunk Arnie to the size of a hobbit, and he said, I'm gonna get him professionally stretched out for the next Expendables. And he was 6'2.5". No, he wasn't 6'2.5", but never mind that. or during Halloween, me and the big man with their big hunting knives from Predator and from Rambo and the pumpkins. And I think Sly now, he's so happy he gets to stand toe to toe with Arnold, and they're the same height, which I think is a very, very overlooked and underrated part of the competitiveness.
So all of these things made you dislike your once idol.
It made me feel let down, and it made me feel disassociated from him. It's like I don't understand him anymore.
Because for some reason you held him in much higher regard.
I did. I'm thinking to myself,
whose fault is that? Whose fault is that?
What do you mean?
I mean, you have nobody to blame but yourself.
There are hundreds of millions of people, okay, who would feel the same way.
Okay.
All right?
If you're one of those people, please let us know.
All right.
I doubt there's anybody like that.
All right.
I think everybody knew who Sly was.
Okay.
Even before he went onto social media and revealed himself to the world and revealed himself to you, and you became so disappointed by who he actually was, I think it was quite obvious from the get-go.
Listen, I don't know what you thought of him as, but he was...
I didn't think much.
He was a symbol. He was a symbol of American patriotism and jingoistic nationalism, right? The flag bearer.
Oh, because you're American, are you? Oh, okay.
No,
yeah. but you live in America.
No. But I was,
okay,
I believe in patriotism.
Okay.
From wherever it may stem. Okay, and he was that. He was the icon. He was that kind of flag bearer. Let's not forget Rambo.
Oh, listen.
Oh my God! Thank you for cutting me off again.
You liked him because he was like your height, and he had a build you could achieve.
Sure.
And you liked his freaking suits, and that's it. Don't give me this jingoistic nationalism nonsense.
Are the reasons I outlined not justifiable and understandable to any budding 14-year-old, 15-year-old?
The real question here is, for your therapy session, what we need to answer is, why does it matter to you so much? Like, who, in your own words, gives an F?
Well, I'll tell you why, basically. Because when you sculpt much of your nighttime
personality,
in particular nighttime personality
on Sly Stallone.
On Sly Stallone, right?
Wow.
You are likely to feel perturbed and perhaps let down.
Why did you take up boxing?
Who?
You.
Why didn't I?
Yes.
Well, I tried that.
Why didn't you become an artist?
You don't remember that?
Why didn't you do some writing?
Well, okay, I'll tell you exactly.
All right.
Okay. First of all, he's my hero, right? So I accept that I'm not as good at the things he was good at. I can only aspire. So I did the low-hanging fruit stuff. I bought the Henley top, right? I got the toothpick, right? I got the tight jeans.
I've never
built up the muscles.
You wear a toothpick, or use a toothpick rather.
There's some photographic evidence of it somewhere lying about.
All right.
Okay. Also, by the way, and also he was an exceptional sunglass advocate, right? Whether it was in Rocky, whether it was in Over the Top, a great pair of shades in Over the Top, by the way.
The only good sunglasses he wore were those ones with the leather trim in Cliffhanger.
Thank you. Do you want me to go into Cliffhanger for you?
No, please
you don't want me to go into Cliffhanger for you?
Please don't.
All right.
Yet.
Hold on.
Hold on.
All right. Okay. Go on.
Stop listing things.
All right. Go on. Yeah.
Jeez. So love turned to hate. We've explored the reasons why.
Okay.
How do you feel about him now?
Okay, good. Thank you. This is the point. This is why I turned up for this therapy session. Okay. I feel that after Tulsa King got released.
Tulsa King.
Okay.
Why don't you explain what Tulsa King is?
Tulsa King is a new show that I think has debuted or premiered on Paramount. Okay, that's presently in season 2, where he is playing this kind of
retired mafia boss.
Okay. And it really suits him to play that. So
he's
playing a role.
Is he in witness protection? Or no?
No.
Okay. He's just an old mafia boss.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he drops very, very good lines with a lot of gusto, right? A lot of pomp, all right? And I feel that now he's playing roles, notwithstanding the Samaritan, which I did not like.
Right.
Okay. He's playing roles now that I felt that when he passed 60, he should have been playing back then. Because you know what? When he did Rocky Balboa, which was a great return to form for him, by the way, I have to say, a great entry in the series. And even Creed, for which he was Oscar nominated.
Yeah.
Okay, kudos to him. And I have tremendous admiration for the resilience of the man, okay? And you know, in his words, keep punching. He never stops punching, right? You get that? Yeah, keep punching. I think he overuses it a bit. Okay, but hold on. So, I think when he became a bit more heavy set, okay, because now he's massive, okay, he's bigger than he ever was, right? I think at that point, and I thought about it, in around 06, 07, he should really play a heavy in a Scorsese film. He should have been in The Irishman. He would have pumped up The Irishman full of testosterone, no question about it. And wouldn't that have been kind of a Tarantino-style move for Scorsese to put Stallone in one of his films? That would have been a great about turn for Scorsese.
Well, there's a couple
Stallone.
of things. I mean, Tarantino usually uses actors who are like somewhat forgotten about, that he brings back to the fore. Stallone is not that. And I think Scorsese likes actors who can actually act as well. There's that little detail.
Have you seen Daylight? Have you seen Daylight?
Yes, I've seen Daylight.
Or have you seen Assassins?
I've seen Assassins.
Playing the brooding intellectual, sporting the glasses, and looks like he went out for what you call it, to Twickenham attire, wardrobe. Yeah.
So your love has dissipated, or your hate has dissipated,
and now it's been replaced with a reinvigorated sense of appreciation and admiration, and the love could come back, by the way.
Oh, really?
Because there's a healing process.
What would it take?
Huh?
I think you realize that he's just a human being.
Well, that's possibly it. So I need to grow. It's my growth.
There you go.
I see, Dr. Phil.
I
see, Dr. Caspian. Okay, I get it. It was on me.
Thank you.
I shouldn't have had such lofty aspirations.
There
for basically a man who just basically stands in front of a camera.
Yeah.
And gets basically photographed.
Hello.
I get it now.
I get it. Okay. A breakthrough.
I see.
Man, I'm in the wrong job.
Okay.
Listen, and then the next step is to also move out of your parents' home, and then you'll finally be a man.
Excuse me. Let's discuss fantasy. Let's talk reality. Yeah. Teacher against student. Old line versus new line will be the match of the century. Maybe we may get Mrs. Balboa into the ring. Seems like she's the one with the cojones. Acted by George Washington Duke, the Don King. What's it called? The Don King. What do you call
it?
Substitute in Rocky V.
Yes. The Don King persona. If you want to do another Daylight impersonation, please do.
Daylight?
Whatever you want to do.
That was Rocky V.
That's our show for this week. Or this episode.
Oh yeah, I've got it. Before you sign off,
Tommy, what I'm trying to do for you, Tommy, is what Mick tried to do for me. I'm trying to keep you away from the gangsters and the promoters. You understand? Look, you can say we're gonna brains. You can say we're gonna brains.